Okay, so my present circumstances are exactly the circumstances that I need and which is serving what I am creating in this now. What do I mean by that? For example, if you're like me and you've been through the Kundalini awakening, you've been already serving and doing and this and that, and it did not want to manifest. It did not do anything. You had no clients or started drying out the clients, um, and then nothing. And even when somebody shows up, it never happens. Seeing how your ego is attached to those past dreams. But now you have a new dream. You know that in this life there is high magic, how you can create things. And you no longer want to do the crap that other people do. You don't want to deal with people really. You don't care for them anymore. You've done with your old roles. All of your sub personalities are purged, cleansed, and you're coming into full omnipotence. And you're coming into high magic. High magic, when I say high magic, I'm talking about the frequency of omnipotence, which is Saint Germain style, which is also Atlantis style, because we were creating this way. We never had to work for what we wanted to create. We were the source, we are gods. But you see, most people don't understand that, and they should not know this because it just creates a lot of confusion in them, and it creates a lot more people who are confused, in fear, in depression. It is not really serving them. You see, a knowledge which someone is not ready for, but they want to rape that. And it creates a lot of frustration, and because it creates a lot of frustration, it is not really serving the whole, because they are vibrating a lot of frustration instead of vibrating on the level of their beingness, knowingness, which is not an external information trying to be forced, and they are not ready for. They're not ready. They're not ready. But since all this spiritual awakening thing happens, and in this cycle, but a lot of us are choosing to really rape our own mind when we are not ready to create such thing, and we are not ready to manifest that. And or you think that basically that is not how you're creating now, but it's either no time for you, or you have a lot better way to do it. Plus, so when I thought about this, and actually these things came up, that my present circumstances are exactly how they are supposed to be, because my mind always wanted to rush me into something else, and I didn't understand it. Why am I not rushing into something else? And just because I went to Greece, or I went to whatever, certain things cleared up being on the beach. But I also noticed that just because I was on the beach, it did not mean that I definitely feel different, because whatever I have to go through and whatever I have to really do, meaning being and changing my frequency, is not depending on an external circumstances. You can change it, but is not going to change because of that. And whatever you have to go through, you have to go through. And so basically, when I thought about this and I said, okay, my present circumstances is exactly serving me. Why? Because nothing really works. And I wrote about this a few years ago when my higher self was sending me the messages. And nothing really works. And when nothing really works, there is a reason why it does not work, because it's basically a little rerouting and redirecting you to what you really, really, really want. So you always have to keep asking, what is my soul's knowing? What do I know? It is not based on external fuck ups, and external crap, that to listen to somebody else's truth. No, that is their channel, not mine. So, what is my own knowing? What is my personal inner truth? My soul's truth. Where does my soul wants to lead me? My soul wants to lead me back to my highest power and my highest knowing and everything. And so basically, I only have to let go and let rest all the crap that I've met. I have to clear my head. I have to know that exactly I need this peace. I need this, not getting hooked up and joining on other people's timeline by their talking or by their belief system. And during the integration and embodiment process, it's crucial that you are in solitude as much as you can be, because you are rebuilding you. And I've seen how we were manifesting. And every time I wanted to manifest something, I've seen it in my hand and it became true. And then again, it became true. And then again, it became true. And so then I wanted to see if I can create a red rose in my hand. And when I opened it, yes, there was the red rose. And you see, those are the things that, and plus there is the other thing, and then another license plate, because first a 77 showed up with a 999, no, 111. And then a 999 showed up when I thought, when the past calls, and it doesn't matter who it is, an old friend and this and that, and they're still doing whatever they were doing and shit like that. And when the past calls you, it has nothing new to say. Most of the time, it has nothing new to say. And you see, the other thing is, and this is exactly what happened. The past called, and then it had really nothing new to say. And I have to tell you another story. Let me just get the book, which is, of course, the book of from Eckhart Tolle, right? So, well, years back, I don't even know when it was, in 2011 or something. I don't know. And so this is the New Earth, right? This is the book. And the funny thing is, I was at a girlfriend's house and I was sleeping there. And I had this friend who invited me a few months before that to go, I don't know, five-star hotel, for a week. He paid my room and whatever, everything, and just wanted my company. And but also he had some hidden agenda, and he thought that maybe we would become, or we would be together. But it did not happen 30 years ago, and I told him it's not going to happen now either. So whatever. It was kind of on the low point, and said, but I need a relationship. I said, Zoltan, you don't need a relationship. You need a relationship with yourself, and you need to clear that one. And so, but he said, yeah, but I can speak to you so easily and it's so good. We have great conversation. I said, listen, I have great conversation with anybody, because I'm just like this. I like to, have a nice conversation, whatever, something. But, it's not that. You had a relationship and it was fucked up because you are an alcoholic, you're an addict, you make lots of money, but you don't enjoy life. And then whatever. So in 2 months later, because then I went back to the States, then I came home, and then 2 months later he said, "Okay, we're going to Vienna because I want you as a someone who is driving my car because I cannot drive it because I need to drink." So during that trip, he could not really get away from the alcohol for 2.5 hours for the trip. So he needed to have his bottle. He was a complete addict. And I had a father who was an addict, with an alcoholic. And so basically, what it was is that we went there, and he said, "Yeah, but if you would be a girlfriend, I'm gonna take, he was working in some MLM or multi-level marketing or something, and he was getting his Rolex watches, whatever. And he said, one watch could be yours if you are, or you were my boyfriend, girlfriend." I said, "I'm not gonna be your girlfriend, and I don't care for the Rolex watch, okay? So I like you, but I like you as a friend, and that's it." And funny thing, we came home, and I had my own room in a five-star hotel, and he had his own room, and we had a great time actually. It was a few days there, but he had to drink. He had to drink. So then we came home, and when we came home, I told him, "Listen, you need to check into a rehab center or something if you want, because you are at the crossroad. You're kind of like in a fork, and you have to decide which way you're going to go. You want to stay and you're going to get healthy, or the other road, which road it's gonna how it is going to continue. So you need to know what you want, because I've seen my father, and then he did drink himself to death because he did not know. I said, I help you to find a private place or something where you could really deal with these addictions and stuff like that. But at the time, I did not know that much about, everything. So basically, he, um, about 2 weeks later, he was dead. But I was going also to the city, to Budapest, and he was, I wanted to call him, but he did not answer. And that was a Saturday. And so 3 days later, he was, I found out that he was dead. And a friend of hers, a friend of his called me and said, he's dead because he just collapsed in front of his apartment, and he was like 49 years old. And so basically, what I wanted to tell you is that this is life. You're either going to learn and you choose wisdom, the path of wisdom, or you are going to self destruct. And so basically, uh, kind of it upset me that he was dead, that he died, but it was not that I could not, it was just, kind of sad story. And for some reason, I said, and I made a decision, I'm going to go and join the MLM system, what he was doing. And I said, I'm going to do it. And I wanted to be like he was, and I wanted to be like everybody else, right? And then the funny thing happened that on that night when I went to sleep, but before that, I said, Sultan, you already know what I don't know, what I cannot see yet. What should I do? I mean, I cannot believe that you left, because he was my sponsor in a way. I made some investment, and and I said, whatever, I mean, this is just, why now? I said, why did you leave now? And now I'm here, and it's like, what the hell? So what happened is uh, that well, actually, since I asked this question at night when I went to sleep, everything was quiet. I was at a friend's house. And believe it or not, in the middle of the night, we already were sleeping a few hours. It was like, really like, that. And all of a sudden, I feel this big, huge bam, if like somebody is really putting the book on the floor and shoves it down and throw it down, and it makes this huge noise. And I kind of felt that it was a book, but it was like somebody really from the top of the I don't know, there was some huge whatever closet and stuff like that, and it was like thrown. It was like huge bang. So in the morning, I asked my girlfriend, I said, "Did you hear that noise?" In the, we were already sleeping or whatever. She was in the other room. And she said, "Yes, I heard it, but it was coming from your room." I said, "I know, but it sounded like a book was thrown from the top of the shelf or something." So when I was making the bed and whatever, fixing the bed, I looked around. I said, wait, I mean, something must have fallen down, or it really was like bang, huge noise. So I look, and there was this little, I don't know, little thing, like little kind of chair underneath the table. I mean, it's like really, and then all of a sudden I see this book laying down on the floor. And the funny thing, and if you read the book, it says New Earth, awaken to your soul's knowing or your true mission or whatever. I don't know in English exactly how it was written, but so, and to the goal of your life, you basically. And I could not believe it. I said, holy shit. It's basically telling me that I'm not here to follow the crowd, whatever they're doing, right? MLM system and shit like that. And it never worked for me. I never felt like doing shit like that. And then that really just kind of awakened me, the, in that zone, in that phase of my awakening, because I was already awakening. It was just, I wanted to get back into the crowd. And this actually gave me a great, a great, a great realization that I'm not supposed to follow the crowd, but I should really do what I came here to do and really completely self liberate. And of course, later I understood that. So I'm only telling you this story that whenever, because on your journey, you're going to feel like going backwards. You will feel that many times, but your soul will kind of pull you and says, no, you cannot go backwards. You know how many times I felt that? And it was saying, no, I don't want, no. You feel that you just cannot do that. But your mind is like, want to rush you, want to tell you that, I mean, you should get back to normal life. This is insane what you're doing, telling you that. That's the mind conditioned. And it is still the echo and the conditioning of the mind wants to pull you to the opposite way. Your soul wants to go move forward, but your mind wants to pull you back to the always to the past. And the other thing I did not say in the other video is that as I was losing and losing my after meeting that person, and then I was really my all the morphogenetic crap was coming up, and I felt those fears. I was fearing for my life. He was activating me in all kinds of ways. And then so slowly but surely, I was not listening to my intuition. So I was like going down, 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 down. But I did not know that I had to go down to, for the seed, the primal fear, which contains the soul monad. I talked about it before. And but as I was going down, I was going through all those level of consciousnesses, and immediately, eventually at the end, I found myself like barely knowing that what I know now and remembering because it was just so deep in the hole in hell, in my own hell, in my own fear of the primal fear. So basically, what I discovered like a few days ago, that as I was coming now back, and integrating and doing the embodiment process after the Kundalini activation a few months later, and it's a process, process, process. that I'm coming back at the same road, on the same road, and I'm going and passing through all those consciousnesses on all the conscious levels, which is like state of mind, state of mind, state of mind, state of mind, state of mind. And I'm feeling all those things, but there are new insights that are really coming up and being discovered while I'm coming back up. And I'm meeting all those conditioning and all those things, but really it's a new eye again and again and again, and it's really, really permanently cleansing certain things by understanding. And so you're gonna descend like that is like you're gonna lose your consciousness. It feels like you're going, like, okay, I'm barely there. Then you're gonna find yourself in superstition and all that crap that you, whatever, many times you went through in lives. And then on the way back, you will meet that, but you already know when you went as you're rising back up to your consciousness, to the now you're doing the astral, and then actually you're going through the same thing. And so it was very interesting that as I was binging on narcissistic videos, as I was really losing my consciousness and going into amnesia in that sense, and unconsciousness and limited consciousness, for going into the depths of my own hell to pick up the seed of the soul monad, my original blueprint. Just the way I was like doing that, I was going through the same thing here. And then, funny because let's say on this level, on the way down, I was binging on freaking narcissistic videos, narc videos, and all that shit because I was like blaming instead of understanding. And now, as I was coming up, I was, it was all coming up again, like, okay, I was binging on videos, but now I know that this is the echo of the past. Now I realized that all that is just reflecting, it's the mirror, and it's just, as I'm coming back up, I have to go through the same things because now I understand so much more than what I knew when I was descending into my own hell. So it's a very interesting dynamics, and I would not have known that if I did not go through it. And the funny thing is, while I was in this, not even relationship, but I was, in this dynamics, in this relationship dynamics with this so-called, I'm calling him a tester and a transformer, and just took me through all this, and I was willingly going into that, and so there was always this message, nothing to undo, nothing to undo, and on the day in February, on the 4th of February, time when that happened, that I felt that split because I experienced that fear, the last time the sign came up, it said nothing to undo. So this makes me calm. And since then, I did not see that. And that was in February, and now it's June. But before, very often, this sign was coming up, these words. So it happened exactly the way it had to happen. And what I'm saying is, even now in my present, all this that no clients, everything dries out, no business, everything is stopped. Why? Because it serves you. It serves your current solitude. You're not here to focus on other people anymore. You're here to focus on self. You're here to self care. You're here to build yourself up, strengthen the little tiger cubs that I've seen in my dreams, and the beautiful faced child that I was caressing and nurturing in my dream. And my mother was just sitting on a chair and did not even look. And I became the mother of me. I became the mother of my inner child, the mother that I've never had, you see, because I was mesmerized by, I don't even say her beauty, because it had no gender, because the divine masculine and feminine is kind of like, we're gonna become this under June, that was the original idea anyway. And so basically, and I had this many, many dreams, I had this, that we are becoming under June, so we're gonna be like really completely balanced, and we're going to be like 50-50, in that sense. And so this is why you see people who are really pure light, that you cannot really tell if they are women or men. I mean, for example, Orasoma, the method with the flower essences, and who created Orasoma. You cannot tell if she's a woman or he's or a man, or it's just you cannot tell. I think maybe I have this book here. I try to find it. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, I would have shown her picture, but anyway, look it up. Look up Orasoma, and it's amazing. I don't know her name. It's some Vicky, whatever her name was, something Vicky. Interesting, very interesting look. And so why? Because once you have balanced your divine masculine energy with the divine feminine energy within you after your Kundalini awakening or activation, this is when you're really getting to the to your all of your gifts, all of your things that you're gonna do or be or whatever it's gonna be, because you know and you don't know what you're gonna do, or you don't know what you're gonna be. It's just gonna be. And maybe you're not gonna do anything because you came to be yourself finally. And maybe the be yourself is just I exist, and that is the passion of the soul, and whatever. And I might be painting, or I might be whatever, just living my life joyfully and not worry about a freaking thing. And I'm gonna live a life of carefreeness all the way, you know? So this is what I wanted to say because these were coming up. And so, and when people bark at you or whatever they come up, just know it does not belong to the frequency of omnipotence, so they are not it. You know, you can ask questions or whatever, but do not tune in to their frequency. Do not, start entertaining their bullshit, okay? Because what you have to do is be solidifying yourself, and you are in the process of solidifying after your Kundalini activation, and this is when you really become, in that sense, that solidification of the your beingness, your blueprint, whatever, all knowledge, instant knowledge. In every minute, you will never gonna deal with doubts anymore because you just know what you have to do or be or not at all. You see? So thank you for listening. That was it for the second time today. Thanks. Bye.